And we're back with Harris Rosen, President and CEO of Rosen Hotels and Resorts. And I wanted to get your thoughts on the kind of dream that you have now for the next stage of development in healthcare. And you're thinking of creating a healing and wellness facility. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, it is a dream. If I were younger, it would perhaps become a reality. But we've got the primary care facility. We don't have the specialist component. What about the hospital component? Why not? Why not? Is there a relationship between hospitals and hotels? Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yes. Our guests come to the hotel and register. Hospital patients register. We do it a little bit more expeditiously because we have something called pre-registration. So our folks at the front desk know who's coming and know approximately when they're coming, and all they have to do is credit card, sign their name, and they're in. Hospitals a little bit more cumbersome than that, and they need not be. So yes, there's a relationship. And if we stop calling patients patients and start referring to them as guests, yes, I think the whole paradigm changes. The whole concept changes. The feeling that they're there because they're sick and feeble, that evaporates. They're there because they need some help. And how about a hospital room that is comparable to a hotel room, where you have a Murphy bed? So a loved one, God forbid if you're not feeling well, your husband is there and he can sleep in that bed and make you feel comfortable. How about in some of the rooms a crate for a dog that you really love? Wouldn't that make you feel comfortable? So your German Shepherd is sleeping with you at the head of the bed, and you're feeling so warm and wonderful and friendly that you have this wonderful environment. So what? And you're not called a patient. You're going to be called a guest. And room service is going to be 24/7, so that if you feel like eating something healthy, that is not prescribed by the physician, you will be able to have access to that. And so it is this beautiful environment. It will look like a little hotel. It won't look like a hospital. It won't be cold and unfriendly. It won't have corridors and corridors and corridors that lead to nowhere. We'll be just like a little hotel, and you'll be escorted there. It'll have television, and you'll just feel so comfortable, unwind, relax. And when you are in that state of mind, you will heal so much more quickly. So that's kind of the Rosen concept. And we think we could operate hospitals so much more efficiently than they're being operated today. We don't borrow money. All of our hotels are debt-free, so the hospital would be debt-free because we already have IT department and insurance and HR. We have all of those components. We don't need to burden this little hospital with all of those administrative and general expenses. So there are savings there. We also would cap salaries and offer bonuses based on outcomes. So if a guest in our little Rosen Health and Wellness facility leaves in 2 or 3 days, healthy, no infections, no readmissions, the attending physician would receive a bonus.
Okay, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like a resort, actually.
Yes, that's right.
So do you believe,
resort.
Mr. Rosen, that there isn't enough focus on healing, that our healthcare system is more on fixing, but not really healing?
Preventing.
Prevention
is the key.
And wellness.
But listen, I'm not disparaging the healthcare industry, but if you're earning your keep by taking care of people who are not well, you need people who are not well.
Yeah.
So our focus, laser-like, is on making sure that these folks stay well. We don't want them in the hospital. We don't want them visiting a specialist. We want them under our wings so we can take good care of them. So we're focusing laser-like on prevention and wellness and keeping people healthy. We don't want them in the hospital. What we do have is a healthcare component at home. So if you are not feeling well and you need to stay in a restful environment, isn't home much more comfortable than a hospital? If you say, we're going to ask you to stay home for 2 or 3 days, would you feel much better than saying, we're going to put you in the hospital for 2 or 3 days? What a horrible feeling that is.
You know, I'm curious, Mr. Rosen, you have a brother who is a physician.
Yes.
in Florida. What does he think of all this? Can it be done?
Well, tragically, Ron passed away a couple of
sorry.
years ago
Okay.
from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. But he and I would have long conversations about this. He was a psychiatrist, so wasn't confronted with patients that necessarily needed to be hospitalized. But he encouraged me. He said, listen, some of my colleagues are going to think that you're a jerk. Some of my colleagues who say, mind your own business, stay in the hotel business, but ignore them because you're creative, you've got some great ideas, and carry on.
I want a ticket to this Rosen Wellness and Healing Facility. It sounds like a great place.
I will send you a ticket.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rosen.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
your time today.
Sure.
And I'm Mabel John. Thanks for watching.